The third tier contains Aura Mastery, a very powerful and useful mitigation tool. This is the first optional talent that we run into in the tree. The first half of the effect is more PvP orientated. It's the last half of the last full sentence that matters to us as PvE healers. That 100% increase to auras makes a world of a difference for resistance auras against a particular damage type which might spike up, raid-wide. Some examples include Hodir's Frozen Blows, Ignis's Flame Jets, Toravon's Whiteout, Coloron's Burning Breath, and Festergut's Pungent Blight, just to name a few of the many that are out there. Obviously, it's a very powerful tool when used appropriately. Also in the third tier is the talent Illumination, important and a must-have for several reasons. First, it begins a chain of talents which allows us to acquire Holy Shock and Infusion of Light, the former a powerful instant heal, and the latter a useful talent which will be clutch in emergency situations. The actual effect of Illumination makes critical heals particularly useful to Paladins, as they return 30% of the base cost of the spell used. Holy Paladins crit a lot. Thus, this talent is useful in more ways than just progressing to some important spells down the tree. Improved Lay on Hands is another optional talent. However, unless you take Improved Concentration Aura, you will most likely need at least 1 point Improved Lay on Hands in order to progress down the tree in later tiers. Combined with the Minor Glyph, this reduces the cooldown on Lay on Hands to 11 minutes, and the mitigation effect makes it particularly clutch if used on tanks in a tight spot. The fourth tier contains another optional talent, Improved Concentration Aura. This talent extends a Paladin's virtual immunity to spell pushbacks while in Concentration Aura to other casting classes, which makes it a very useful raid utility spell. However, if there's not a lot of pushback triggering damage in a raid, or another Holy Paladin already has it, this talent loses much of its value. Improved Blessing of Wisdom is also in the fourth tier. You'll probably need to take Improved Blessing of Wisdom in order to progress up to the next tier. However, there's no reason not to take it. For a low talent point investment, you up the value of your Blessing of Wisdom by 20%. Blessed Hands is not a recommended talent. Its main utility is in PvP, and it would be very situational in a PvE encounter. In the fifth tier, we have Pure of Heart. Pure of Heart is really a PvP-oriented talent with very little impact in PvE, requiring far too many talent points to justify its limited uses. Divine Favor is also in this tier. The effect from Divine Favor is okay, allowing you to crit any of your healing spells once every 2 minutes, on demand via cooldown. There are some valuable applications to this spell, but the true value of this talent is in allowing you further down the tree. It's required to eventually get Holy Shock, which, incidentally, is the spell which gains the most power from Divine Favor. The other talent in this tier is Sanctified Light. This increases the critical chance on Holy Light and Holy Shock. Note that this does not include Flash of Light. However, it's still a valuable talent since you will still end up casting Holy Light, and critical and Holy Shocks have a number of useful after effects, not to mention a critical Holy Shock is a powerful instant heal. The sixth tier has Holy Power. This talent increases the critical strike chance of all your holy spells by 5%, which makes it a great throughput tool. Purifying Power is another talent, and is mostly PvP, with very limited applications in PvE. Ultimately, it isn't worth the talent point investment when your talents can be used elsewhere. In Tier 7, we run into a very important talent for Holy Light, Light's Grace. Later, I'll talk about different styles of healing. Regardless of whether you're a Flash of Light or Holy Light healer though, chances are that you will cast some Holy Lights. Making your Holy Lights as short as possible is what makes it a viable and useful spell, since it's already a powerful one. Also in this tier, you will finally get Holy Shock. This is a powerful instant heal that becomes very important in emergency situations. It finds a lot more value in PvP, however its PvE significance and its value for being a 1 point talented ability is immense. Blessed Life is another PvP-oriented talent. You simply shouldn't be taking enough damage to make it worth the talent investment. In the 8th tier, we start off with Sacred Cleansing. This is another PvP talent with limited situational usefulness in PvE. In the end, not taking it boils down to the fact that putting the points in it takes points away from other places, which will have a far larger impact. Holy Guidance is a very good talent, and one of the many reasons Intellect becomes such a valuable stat for Holy Paladins. It increases spell power through your Intellect, making your heals bigger. You should be putting points in that. The 9th tier contains two very useful talents which become key parts of the Holy Paladin's healing tools. The first is Divine Illumination. Since Divine Illumination directly helps with mana efficiency by reducing the cost of spells restoration, there's absolutely no reason not to take it. The other talent is Judgments of the Pure, which is an expensive but definitely valuable talent which makes Holy Light a reasonable cast time and Flash of Light an efficient light heal. The talent gives the Holy Paladin about 15% casting haste for 60 seconds upon a successful hit of a judgment spell, such as Judgment of Wisdom or Judgment of Light. This means that a Paladin will be casting judgments frequently in order to keep the cast times of their heals low. The 1 global cooldown trade-off is well worth the minute global cooldown saved in a 1 minute period, or roughly 1 minute period of spell casts. The 10th tier also contains two worthy talents. In Infusion of Light is the capstone talent in the tree, which gives you Holy Shock, Divine Favor, and Illumination. Infusion of Light is a buff that you get when you get a crit from a Holy Shock cast. The buff makes your next flash of light instant in most cases, or gives your next Holy Light a 20% increased chance for crit. This makes Holy Shock a very good emergency tool, especially if you guarantee that crit with Divine Favor. You can use the powerful instant heal to bring someone safely out from immediate danger, and then use the crit effect for another instant heal to top them off. Or you can use the crit chance on Holy Light to, perhaps, bring a tank nearer to full, since a Holy Shock and a Flash of Light won't be nearly enough for such a large health pool. The other talent in this tier is Enlightened Judgments, which is a talent which makes judging as a Holy Paladin viable, since it allows you to judge at range when you heal. The final tier, the 11th one, contains arguably the most powerful talent for Holy Paladin healers in Wrath of the Lich King. This talent gives the Paladin a spell, Beacon of Light, which is a buff on one target for 60 seconds. 90 with the glyph, that transfers all direct healing from the Paladin on other targets to the Beacon target. Beacon of Light is a fairly expensive spell, but well worth its cost and the number of talents needed to get it, as it essentially doubles the Holy Paladin's healing. As with talents in the 9th and 10th tier, this talent is a must-have for PvE healing in a raid situation. To quickly mention some applications, you can place a beacon on one tank and heal the other, or you can place it on a tank taking the most damage and raid heal, or you can place it on yourself in a heavy raid damage scenario with constant tank swaps, such as Phase 3 in Nagosa, and continue healing without worrying about your own health. That covers the talents in the Holy Tree. There are some other optional talents in other trees, but this will be your most populated tree, and many of the talents mentioned here are must-haves. After the Holy Tree, you'll have two different paths you can take, one down the Protection Tree and one down the Retribution Tree. Each path has a specific goal which makes a significant impact on your healing contribution to raids. The impacts are different and apply well to different situations for your raid, gear level, and other factors. Thus, neither one is best, but both are better in different scenarios. The best approach to discussing each tree is just to discuss why you would choose one path or another. Going down the Protection Tree will allow you to pick up the spell Divine Sacrifice, which is a powerful party mitigation tool. Even more useful is Divine Guardian, a powerful raid-wide mitigation tool. Going down the Retribution Tree allows you to pick up points in Conviction, which allows for a high amount of crit rating to your stats, making spells like Flash of Light bigger. They can also make up for a lack of gear, and is a good path to take until your general gear level improves. That covers the talent section of this guide. You may refer to the written accompaniment to this guide for more details on talent choices, especially in regards to the Protection and Retribution healing subpaths. Next, we will talk about stats and how to gear your Paladin. Glyphs are fairly straightforward for two of the glyphs. Use Glyph of Seal of Wisdom if you're spec for Holy Light, or Glyph of Seal of Light if you're spec for Flash of Light. Use Glyph of Holy Light regardless, and I personally use Glyph of Beacon of Light. The Flash of Light style paladins may wish to use Glyph of Flash of Light. The last major glyph slot varies a lot more, and I offer explanations for my choices in the written guide, as well as alternatives. Minor glyphs are fairly inconsequential. I take Glyph of Blessing, Wisdom, and Kings for convenience, as well as Glyph of Lay on Hands, which reduces the cooldown on Lay on Hands by 5 minutes. We're running out of time, but it would feel incomplete if I didn't talk about Holy Paladin stats really quickly. In Wrath of the Lich King, assuming you're gearing for Holy Light, Intellect is the most valuable stat by far, followed by Haste. Spell Power, Crit, and MP5 are nice too, but when you look at a piece of gear, you want pieces of gear with Haste over pieces with Crit or MP5. Spell Power will naturally be on your gear already. MP5 is nice, but if you use your mana cooldowns effectively, you won't need much passive regen, and Crit lost much of its value in patch 3.2, now providing less MP5 than the actual stat. This means that you should gem for Intellect and enchant for Intellect where possible. The written portion of this guide provides specific listings for the best enchants for each slot, and your best gem setup is all plus 20 Intellect gems, with one Nightmare tier stuck in a red or blue socket, hopefully a socket which nets you a socket bonus, and an insightful Ursiege Diamond should be your meta. That's all I can cover right now in the video portion of this guide. The written guide should be used as a reference in association with this guide, where you can grab more specific details on talents, spells, gearing, and macros, among other things. Thanks for watching and listening, and good luck in your Holy Paladin endeavors. Goodbye.